So the next letter I'm not going to read so much as I'm just going to talk about. And it's actually a handwritten letter on two very pretty lilac pages that I had used actually for a recital invitation that my mother wrote to me. And she just kind of left it on my bureau sometime around my high school graduation in June. So it wasn't like right before I left for college, but it was. And I remember, probably I subconsciously knew it was going to deeply emotionally impact me. And I think I kind of just skimmed it. Sorry, mom. But I saved it and I took it with me to college. And I'm sure I did read it. For whatever reason, I really don't think it landed. I don't think, despite the fact that I was very like a sensitive child and like aware of all of the kind of dynamics of major life events, even at a young age, for some reason, I don't know that this letter really hit me and I don't know, fully until some years later when I read it. I want to say I was living in New York for at least 5 years. So it was almost, almost 10 years from when she wrote it. Just the fact that it's written in her beautiful script that is a little hard to read for me, but also so pretty to look at. My mother, unlike me, is not nearly as loquacious or verbose. And she would always write letters, but they were usually a little simpler and sweeter and to the point. And this was quite long, and it was very reflective and honest and, you know, deeply appreciative of so many facets about me, but not in a artificially adulatory way, in a way that as I read it now or as I have read it as an adult, I felt very seen by. And yeah, it's just been such a testament. And to have this physical testament of that moment in time, but also a much more consistent stream in our dynamic, which is that, I was adopted and we are very different, just temperament wise, emotionally. But yet I've learned so much from her. And I know that she would say, I have taught her so much about being in the world through our contrast. And yeah, I'm still always taken aback at times at how much she gets me in ways that I have maybe not always expressed, and that maybe she didn't even initially get. That I think when I was very little were like kind of jarring and annoying, and maybe too much because I could be very loud and very opinionated, and yet I mean, a real testament to her commitment to me as a mother and to love me unconditionally beyond the binds of biology, which don't bind us. Um, yeah, there was just such a sweet reflection here. And so I can't read it because I'll definitely just cry through it. And it's a little difficult to make out and read quickly. But, don't ever underestimate leaving a quiet little letter for someone. We never talked about this letter. I think I brought it up to her years later when I found myself reading it in my New York apartment and, you know, weeping just for gratitude, out of gratitude that not only would she would feel all of these things, but that she would take the time to write them down for me so that I could have them forever. Because what does that do in me? It creates the compulsion and it's almost like, when you pay it forward, that you want to share the same amount of um, insight and affection and gift that to someone else.